Hey, what's up YouTube? You're watching Ready, Set, Drone, and today I have Philip Ulrich with me. He has a Mavic 2 Pro, and as you might know, I have a Mavic 2 Zoom. We're gonna do some fun stuff with these two things, do a little comparison, so stay tuned and check it out. All right, so since the Mavic 2 came out, there's been a lot of discussion about should I get the Mavic 2 Zoom or should I get the Mavic 2 Pro? They are both awesome. They're basically the same drone with two different cameras. Philip, as I said, has the Pro. I have the Zoom. But the question for me is, if you're not a cinematographer or a professional videographer or a professional photographer, is it really worth the extra price you pay and having the Hasselblad and the higher specs on the Mavic Pro over the Mavic Zoom? And by that I mean, can most people tell with the naked eye the difference? Have you seen much comparison between them? I
actually haven't, but I've thought about it, and I guess as long as you're not comparing the color profiles that the Zoom doesn't have or anything like that, they'd probably be somewhat even. Maybe low light be better since there's a larger sensor on the Pro.
I'm talking about full light. I'm talking about shooting MOV or MP4. I'm talking about 4K and 1080. But like today is kind of a dreary, overcast day here in Texas. First cold day of the year in a while, which is nice. You can see we're all bundled up. But ultimately, this is a real world condition, and it's pretty nice diffused light today. So we should be able to see. It isn't going to be like that bright sunshine you get in the middle of August. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fly around together, and you're not gonna know who's flying which one, and you're not gonna know which shot is which for a little while. We're gonna fly around, we're gonna do like a tree, maybe a sign, goalpost, the cars, just us, some different things, and we'll try to put the drones fairly close together so the shots look similar. And then we're gonna just put them up on the screen for 10 seconds, let you take a look, and see if you can tell the difference, then we'll tell you which is which. And so it's kind of a fairly non-scientific, subjective video, but I think that's what it's all about ultimately, is if you're just out flying for fun or just capturing some cool stuff of your family, is there a big difference between the two? So let's go ahead and open up DJI Go 4, and we'll make sure that we are on the same camera settings. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try a few different things. We're gonna try 1080, we're gonna try 4K, we'll try 30 frames, we'll try 60 frames, and just kind of like put those up at the same time. So each time we'll trade or we'll change, we'll make sure that we're on the same settings. Now, of course, this will all get converted in the editing software. So what I'm probably gonna output this whole thing in is 1080/30, just for YouTube. But know that these are how these things started. So we're gonna start with 1920 by 1080 at 24 frames per second, shooting MP4 format. Okay. Cool. I got it. Cool, all right. So now we're gonna mix you all up with a little sleight of hand. Okay, now you don't know who has whose. Who's who? right, so Philip and I were talking about this whole process, and I want to be clear. I am not saying that the camera on the Zoom is as good as the camera on the Pro, because it's not. If you look at the specs, if you look at the capabilities of it, if you look at the lens, all that stuff, that's a better camera. However, I just wanted to give people a chance to see the footage side by side with as close to real world conditions as possible and as close to the same settings as possible. I mean, it's definitely real world conditions. The settings were a little tricky because sometimes one looked too bright or the white balance was a little off, but we did our best. We're not going to say any value judgment on it. Basically, we're just going to let you decide. Could you tell the difference? And if you could, then absolutely get the Hasselblad, get the Pro. If you couldn't, and if it's not that important to you, save yourself a couple of $100, get an extra battery, and buy the Zoom. Plus, you can zoom, which is pretty awesome.
I don't miss it, but.
So what did you think?
I think it's really hard to match the settings exactly because this has the aperture adjustment and that doesn't. Honestly, I can't tell just by looking at the phone screen, because the phone screen isn't a great way to do the video to begin with. So I guess we'll just have to see.
That's a very fair point. So the good news is, if you're watching this, we recommend you actually get a laptop or a desktop monitor and watch it that way, because you're going to get a better view. Or if you're watching it on your phone, at least be inside where it's not as bright, because it's really hard out here to tell with all the ambient light that we're dealing with. Regardless, if you like this video, please check out Phil's channel, Philip Ulrich. And I will link to it, so if you want to subscribe or check him out, he does some cool stuff. This guy always has the latest and greatest tools and toys to play with, so tech stuff, if you like it, check him out. And of course, if you like Ready Set Drone and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, please hit like, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time on
Ready Set Drone.
Bye.